Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pits to Podium show and the Inside Line F1 podcast. Again, we continue on with our discussion about if teams were stocks, if Formula One teams were stocks, that is, would you buy them, would you hold on to them, or would you sell them for 2021? And the next team, I think, is going to spark the greatest degree of controversy that we've had so far on this series. The most Netflix oriented team, at least from the outside, of all teams around. The team with so much drama going around them. It's all just seems like a case of a haphazard mismanagement of sorts with controversy flowing around everywhere. But it's just that the real core performance is just neglected in that scenario. We're talking about Haas, of course, folks. And for Haas, Kunal, I really don't know. I honestly have no idea. If I was an investor, would I buy? Would I sell? Would I hold on? Because their performance has just been pushed away into a different dimension by all the controversies and all the other stories that's going around. Say, what about Roman and Kevin? What about Nikita Mazepin? What about Mick Schumacher coming in? And hey, what about, for that matter, Gene Haas and Gunther Steiner? Are they having a strong relationship too? And all that's just meant that the team's actual on-track performance has just been ignored and neglected, and we haven't spoken about it enough. And even Rich Energy, for that matter, if you're going around to 2 years behind. So I'm going to put it to you, Kunal, first. Would you buy, hold, or sell for Haas, keeping in mind the following 2 years? Because 2022 could see the slate being completely wiped clean. But as it stands, they're just on the back foot on the technical side.
Well, I'll put it this way, and this is, of course, on a lighter note before people pounce onto me. I think at the moment, if somebody offered Gene Haas the option to sell, maybe he would sell the Haas stock as well. Okay. But yes, you're right. Lots of drama, lots of off track stories around Haas, not much that they have on track, I would say. All right. But at the same time, I would unfortunately still say yes. If you are holding Haas stock, sell, because I don't think it's going to sort of grow. I think it's going to just dip further. Despite the Mick Schumacher brand getting associated with Haas in 2021, right? I think there's just too much focus on the old off-track stuff than the on-track stuff. And honestly, Soumil, I expected a lot more from Gene Haas, given his motorsporting experience and
Yeah.
wisdom from the United States of America, right? But it's taken time, and we, after a few good starts to seasons that they've, usually had, it seems like Haas have always been all over the place. And yes, there's also, they've been on the back foot because of the whole Ferrari power unit issues and the fact that they've literally just bought everything that is legally allowed from Ferrari, right? So if Ferrari have a bad guy, it's tough to imagine Haas to have a
Yeah.
good car and the likes. But if they've gone down this road and you realize that maybe it's not working, could there be another road to take? But unfortunately for Haas, and the reason why I say unfortunately is because it's still not proven, but they've only gone deeper inside the whole Ferrari network, right? So Ferrari
Yep.
have sort of given Haas some of their team members, given the whole restrictions around budgets and so on, right? So in the short term to medium term, I don't think Haas is really going to resurrect. I think it will take time, and unless they just go copy somebody else's car like some of their other rivals do, I think it's going to be yes. Okay. Yes, I think it's going to be a tough one. So if you hold half stock, please just sell it off. I don't know who's going to buy at the other end, because you need somebody to buy a stock you'll
Yeah.
sell as well. But there you go.
It's clearly a case of we don't know. And to be honest, it seemed like a couple of months ago that even Gene Haas and Gunther Steiner didn't know, because they were genuinely considering backing out of the Formula One program, but they have decided to continue. And thank goodness, many, many jobs on the line. So, if nothing, big thank you to Gene Haas for at least keeping the team alive. But Kunal, you're actually right. There was a big news story that got buried under all the controversy of Mazepin and Mick Schumacher, which we shall come to in a little bit. But let's focus on this controversy first, Kunal, because all of a sudden, when Mick Schumacher came in, it's like a big 50x rise in your goodwill. Then Mazepin comes in, and that's a 65x fall in your goodwill. What's going around over there? And yes, we know at the end of the day, some team bosses will be hard pressed to say that it's the car and the team that contributes most to the success. It's the perennial motorsport dilemma, right? But
It,
still, you've got one pay driver and the Formula 2 world champion. You really think that it's a driver lineup that could contribute and maybe push Haas beyond the boundaries of their technical, I mean, push Haas to a level where their technical limits can't quite get them. I haven't quite framed that correctly, haven't I? Have I?
but we get the drift. I'm pretty sure. I mean, what you mean is, could the drivers literally drive around the issues of the car if Roman and Kevin couldn't do that with
Yes.
all their
Yes.
experience, right?
My apologies, folks. Lapse of concentration.
Happy to be your co-driver, Sommel, right? But the whole controversy, is of course an unfortunate one. It's not something that's welcome to the team for PR reasons, for sponsorship reasons, and I also think we are far more open a world than we were several years ago to sort of allow for such BS to continue, if I may
Yeah.
put it in as many words, right? But yes, with Mick coming, lots of goodwill. With Nikita coming, it's going the other way around. You pointed out it's great to sort of have Gene Haas keeping Haas alive, and hopefully that their existence is just more for than the Netflix audiences. Samuel, that's how I would put it. But talking about rookies, maybe that's what Haas realized, that hey, if we anyway have a really bad car, which Gene Haas has said that he's not looking to sort of invest in upgrades to this particular car since 2020, right? So the point is, if we anyway have a bad car, what difference if we
Yeah.
have a multi-million paycheck driver driving, or somebody who's paying us a multi-million-dollar paycheck to drive the car? And maybe that's a sensible thing to do. Maybe we would do the same thing if
Yeah.
we were in Gene's place, thinking more medium to long term with the development, but taking care of the immediate business needs of the team as well. So that seemingly is what he's done. And I also remember there was this whole talk of Mick Schumacher driving for Alfa Romeo, given that it's Sauber and so on, and
Yep.
how maybe the deal to bring him to Haas was given or done to keep Haas in Formula One, let them use the Schumacher name to attract sponsors and the
Ouch.
likes, right? But again, just stories and rumors, and you could call that I'm speculating. So don't hold me to it, guys. But I think that you be in negative X irrespective if you get a Nikita Mazepin on the team, at least
Mm.
in terms of goodwill, because I'm sure in terms of bank balance, he probably brings you into the black.
He does indeed. Punch above the weight is the word I was thinking about early on. My apologies for that quick lapse of concentration. But coming back to this one, Kunal, you're absolutely right. It's sad to see that this is what it takes for a team like Haas to continue on, but that's just that. There are a few good things to come though, and the good things to come, Kunal, have to be the deeper integration with Ferrari. You can look at it in two ways. You can look at this model and say, "Hey, I don't like this. It's just a complete BT model." Where is the originality, you may ask? And you're right in that department. But the fact of the matter is, for smaller teams like Haas to survive, for smaller teams that don't really have that level of finance, that's just the way forward. And I think that would be the one factor for me that would be the silver lining for this particular stock. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree so. And I'll put it this way, that with Aston Martin unofficially following the whole B team thing with Mercedes, we've seen that when it works really well. And it's just about Ferrari and then Haas getting it right. And you would trust that Ferrari would get it right more often than not. Will it
Yeah.
be right in terms of championship, challenges? Maybe not, but at least they'll be up there winning races and challenging for podiums, and being in the top three and the like. So when that happens, I expect that Haas would also sort of, benefit. And like we all know, Ferrari's customer teams struggled last year with lack of horsepower. So
Hmm.
that is expected to be addressed in 2021 as well. So let's just see how Haas ends up rolling in 2021.
Absolutely. If nothing, social issues aside, let's just consider objectively. They have a deeper relationship with Ferrari. They have the reigning Formula 2 world champion. And Mazepin, he's quite a decent driver, Apart from, okay, let's keep his image aside. He can do stuff on the track. He can put the car in good positions. At least we saw that last year in Formula 2. So let's hope that Haas do well. But signs, if they were a stock, they don't seem to be going so well. That's Haas done, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we're going to have another Ferrari customer team in the form of Alfa Romeo. That after a very short break.